Ladies and gentlemen of the United States of America, it's match day. Yes, now we're back at it. We're doing a USA preview today for our match against Australia. Man, what a big match this is. I feel like going into it, we all thought Turkey was going to be the big match of the group, but with the upset that Australia had against Turkey, I think this is kind of the big match of the group now. Leaving the Turkey match to still be a good deciding factor, but if we win this game, I believe we top the group no matter what. So that would be absolutely electric if the USA can get that done at Lumen Field today, or whenever hopefully you're watching it before the game. It wouldn't really make sense to watch it after. So, but yeah, we're gonna do a little pregame. So let's get into it. Let's look into how the boys did last time out in our first match day against Paraguay. Okay, like I said, USA versus Australia, the Aussies, Straya, whatever you want to call them, the Mad Lads. I think we're in for a treat of a game coming up, guys. So let's look back at the USA's match against Paraguay. So obviously Balogun with the brace, insane performance from him. First player since 1930 for the US to get a brace at the World Cup. Crazy stat. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. But yeah, I think if the US want to beat Australia today, we're going to need a big performance again from Flo, just because he's leading the lines. Australia played with a 5-back against Turkey, so I'm assuming they'll do it again against us. So he'll have a lot of defenders surrounding him. So him, even if he's not directly involved with the play, but him just drawing defenders away from the likes of Pulisic, Serginho Dest, Weston McKennie, Malik Tillman, those type of players, like if he can create space for them, I think that's also a win. But 2 peaches of goals in the last match, so I'm expecting another big performance from him. I feel like the big talk right now amongst the U.S. camp is Christian Pulisic fit to play? And is it worth risking his injury in this match, considering we still have Turkey coming up and the rest of the tournament, of course? Sounds like he's about 50% fit to play is what the reports are saying. I don't know if this is just a scare tactic or, like we're trying to psych out Australia. I don't know what Pochettino's got going on. But if he truly is injured, obviously Australia got the upset over Turkey. This is a huge match. Would it be a good idea to risk Pulisic in this game? I honestly don't know. And I'm glad I'm not the coach because I don't have to make that decision. But I personally think he will play. I think Brendan Aronson said something about it as well, that, if he can do anything in his power, Pulisic is going to play for the U.S., and that's just what he does. So I think he will play, and at least half the game like he did against Paraguay, and hopefully he does enough like he did against Paraguay, because let's look at the lineup again. I mean, he got an assist within 45 minutes. Not too bad. 7.9 overall. Obviously, if you're a U.S. fan or just a footy fan in general, you probably realize that the U.S. played out of their minds against Paraguay. And I don't think it was a fluke necessarily, but I also don't think that is our new normal, if that makes sense. Obviously, the boys have been together for a very long time now. I think we're going on like 10 years that this camp has kind of consistently been called up, with the regards to like Freeman and stuff getting called up because he's young. He's a new young baller, so like he wasn't with them back in the day and stuff. But yeah, all these boys I feel like have just been growing and playing together. So the chemistry is flowing. You can see it out on the pitch, and against Paraguay, like I said. But let's move into how Australia looked against Turkey. So Australia versus Turkey, right? Ended 2-0. Personally, I think it was an upset. I think most people in the world had it as an upset. I'm sure those Australians, they believed, of course. But yeah, really good performance from them. Their keeper, Beach, getting man of the match. He had 8 saves, but I think something the U.S. can capitalize on is his lack of accuracy out the back. I mean, 4 out of 25 for long balls and 14 out of 35 just in general. Not that good, considering he also has at least 3 options, if not the full 5 to give it to. With also the midfielders checking in and stuff, like, I definitely think he's a little dicey on the ball, and I think that the U.S. could maybe, with our high press, we could probably try to squeeze a couple goals out of him that way, or at least some corners, anything, just kind of put him on his toes, or put him on his heels, I think they say. Both their wingers were super dangerous, super quick players, Metcalf and Irankunda. Obviously, Irankunda's goal was incredible. Great ball down the line, great run from him. The touch to get it in between the 2 defenders and get around them was insane. He's going to be obviously one to watch for the U.S. in our game today. But same with Metcalf. He was dangerous on the other side too. And as you see, they both ended up picking up goals. So should be interesting. I think our wingbacks are going to have to possibly sit a little more. I don't know if Robinson's going to be able to fly up and down the line like he likes to, but you never know. I think obviously our holding mids of Tyler Adams and whoever will get the start tomorrow with him should be in a good spot to also cover for our outside backs if they go forward. But it's just something to be aware of, in my opinion, and I'm sure that Pochettino and the rest of the staff are talking about that. But yeah, huge upset, obviously, as we know. And that is why I think many U.S. fans, including myself, are a bit nervous for this one. And there's just a lot on the line. We saw Mexico win today against South Korea, and that clinched them to get first in the group. So that was huge. And yeah, depending on how it goes tomorrow, we're looking the same. I guess if Turkey beats Paraguay, then, we have that match again. And because it seems like it's head-to-head is the first tiebreaker, but I'm also not too sure. I thought it was always goal differential, so I'm a little confused. So the last time the U.S. faced Australia was in Colorado at Dick's Sporting Goods Park on October 14th, 2025. Pretty sure it was just a friendly match, and the teams, honestly, the teams that got called up are somewhat similar to what we saw. U.S. is much more than Australia's, and that game ended up 2-1 to the U.S., with Haji Wright getting both goals, Christian Roldan with both assists, which is pretty incredible. Honestly, I don't think this tells us anything about what's going to happen today. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because it was recent, only a year ago, right? And some similar players on both teams. USA got the win. You never know. It's just a friendly, so you never know. But yeah, that's what happened the most recently when we matched up. Now let's go look at the predicted lineups for both teams tomorrow, and I'll give my insight on what I think will happen and who will be the big players for tomorrow. So let's do that. USA versus Australia. USA is currently ranked 17th in the world, with Australia as 27th. So 10 places in between the two sides. We're playing in Seattle tomorrow, 12 p.m. kickoff local time. Here's what I was talking about with Aronson, saying that Pulisic will give his all to play in the match against Australia after picking up that calf injury. I believe this lineup is exactly the same to the Paraguay game, and I honestly don't mind it. I think with how the boys played, it would be honestly pretty stupid to change anything, especially with Chris Richards now being fit. And yeah, everyone just had a really good game. Pulisic, again, that's the only one where I'm like, is he going to play or not? We don't really know yet, and we won't know until the team sheets come out. But I personally feel like if he is fit, he should play. Having at least, say he plays and we win, right? We have 2 wins in our belt. That's huge for the group. Going into Turkey, if he's not fit to play that match and we have to rest him, we at least have the 2 wins in our belt. But I don't know. It's a tough pick, right? Because which game do you prioritize, essentially, is what it is. And with how Australia played against Turkey, makes me think that this is the game to prioritize and we should play him. But if he's also not ready, we shouldn't play him. So like I said, I don't know if the reports are they seem pretty real. I don't know if it's like a scare tactic or whatever, mind games that Pochettino's playing. He's playing 4D chess right now. But I believe, yeah, both teams pretty much identical to last match is what the predicted lineups are. Not too surprising. Both teams got their wins in their first matches, so I could see it being the case. With the pacey wingers on Australia, I'm sure Weah will come in and either have to play a little bit of outside back or he'll just come in for Dest, and, you know, that will happen. But I'm sure Weah will find some minutes in this match. I think with the goal Reyna scored, again, it'd be kind of rude not to reward him for that. And I think he did play pretty decent when he came on. The game was quite stretched when he came on, so it was a little bit easy for him to adapt to it, I think. But yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. Sebastian Berhalter, same type of thing. I expect him to get some minutes tomorrow. It'd be interesting if Haji Wright plays. I mean, 2 goals in the friendly against him last year. Makes me think that if Balogun's getting a little tired or just not working out up there, like, get Haji Wright in, you never know. But yeah, that's the lineup. Obviously, I think the main guys, of course, Pulisic, Balogun, and McKennie. I think they're going to be the big 3 for us to get us some results here. And like I said, I think the outside backs have their jobs cut out for them with the pacey wingers and just the balls over the top. But I think we'll be able to handle it. I think the U.S. have a really good chance of topping their group. And yeah, that's all. I mean, what can I say? I got to go to the USA. Let's go. All right. If I had to predict my man of the match for tomorrow, or I think they call it the superior player of the match, and they get the big trophy, I'm going to go with none other than Weston McKennie. I think is going to be our bright spot tomorrow. I think he might not get on the score sheet, but I think that the work he does in the middle of the park, breaking up the play, winning the ball back for us, and eventually I think he's going to get at least an assist or 2, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that's a bold shout or not, but yeah, McKennie, you're my guy tomorrow. I believe in you, and fingers crossed that Pulisic plays tomorrow, because obviously he's a big miss if he's not playing. Because yeah, I mean, let's look. So last game, Berhalter came in for Pooley. I believe that slid Tillman out to the left, and Sebastian obviously played in a little bit of like an 8 role with McKennie. And I honestly don't know who would start on the left other than Gio Reyna or Aronson, or probably Weah, I guess, huh? Weah would probably be the main man to go out there, I bet. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be either Weah, Aronson, or Reyna, right? Or Tillman, and then you put Berhalter in the middle. Maybe they do that. I don't know. I could see that actually being the case too. But yeah, so like I said, fingers crossed he plays. That would be a huge miss if he doesn't play. And with that being said, that's about all I got for coverage. Up the USA, red, white, and blue, Star Spangled Banner, all that. And let's get this dub, guys. Come on. Fight and win! Oh, finally, score prediction. Let's do that before we head out. Score prediction for tomorrow. I am going to go 2-1 to the USA. I also think there's a high possibility of a draw in there, but I'm going to back the boys, and we're going to go 2-1 to the USA. Like I said, McKennie with an assist or 2. Balogun, I think, is going to pick up 1 goal. And I'm thinking, honestly, maybe a bit of a Chris Richards or Tim Ream on a corner kick type vibe for the second goal. So let's see what happens. And like I said, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll catch you in the next one.